Welcome back everyone, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we are going to be talking about Elex, an upcoming RPG from Piranha Bytes. And the reason why I'm talking about this game so much is because I really want to give this game a chance. I think that this game can be something good. And hopefully I'm not going to be wrong. Hopefully. And also I'm a big Piranha Bytes fan. I played the Gothic franchise. I played the Risen franchise even though Risen 3 was... but still, you know, I think that Elex is definitely a second chance for this studio and I believe they can do something good. So today I'm going to focus on factions in Elex because there's going to be 4 factions in total when it comes to this game. And if you haven't played Piranha Bytes' previous games, faction system was a huge part of their game, where in Gothic 1 and 2 you had to join a faction to progress through the game. You had to become a member of a faction to progress through the main story, and basically just joining one faction was such a pain in the ass, but at the end you get some nice equipment. And in Gothic 3 it was changed a bit. They were like, okay, you gain reputation with certain factions, for example the orcs or the rebels. So you had to liberate the cities from orcs to get more reputation with the rebels, or you had to destroy rebel bases to gain more reputation with the orcs. And that actually got you better equipment, better weapons that you can use in the game itself. Now every single one of these factions has their own opinion about Elex, because Elex is an element that was actually on Meteor that hit Magellan, and Magellan is the world we're gonna be playing in. So the first faction I want to talk about are the Berserkers, and these guys turn Elex into mana, and they believe that Elex gave the world another chance. So they want to go back to nature, and they believe that using magic is more important than investing Elex into technology and that kind of stuff. So they're gonna be all about turning Elex into magic. The next faction are the Elves, and these guys are going to be some mean motherfuckers because they use Elex to infuse themselves with that element. And taking Elex kinda gets rid of all the emotions you have, so you become just like a robot. And they believe in one thing: all of the Elex found on Magellan needs to go to them. And if you're considered weak, or if you don't believe in what they believe, you're going to be killed. And they want to rule the world. They want to be one faction that's going to rule everything, and if they do kill you, they extract Elex from your body so they can use it. So these guys are going to be mean as hell. Now also a fun thing, because our main protagonist is an elf, and the funny thing at the beginning of the game when his ship crashes and he doesn't have that daily intake of Elex, he's going to feel emotions for the first time, and he's going to say, oh, maybe the elves are not the best thing in the world, they're going to be some evil motherfuckers we are going to be fighting against, I hope. Now the next faction is really interesting, and those guys are the clerics. And they believe in only one thing: technology. So all the Elex they actually gather goes into machines. So I'm guessing those guys are going to have guns and weapons and flamethrowers and rocket launchers. And if you want to go with that build, you're going to need to work for them. So the clerics are the guys that believe in only one thing, and that is technology. Build me some robots and invest all the Elex you have into those robots. And the last faction for today are the Outlaws, and these guys want to be free. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to be oppressed by the Berserkers or the Elves. They don't want to even help the clerics. They just want to be free, and they say one thing: yes, we know that this world is tough, but we want to be free in that world. And they're just going to go and explore the wasteland, and they don't really want to go in every conflict that's happening on Magellan right now. They just want to be free and they want to stay neutral. So those guys could be my pick for the faction I'm going to join, because you have no rules. You just go and do whatever you want. And one of the developers actually said that there's something like junkies and they just wanna get high and don't do anything, which is great, which is amazing. Now every faction has its own part on the map, and that region is going to be different. For example, the Alps are going to be in this frozen, covered with ice and snow region, while the clerics are going to be in a crater where the meteor hit. So that means we're actually going to have volcanoes and that kind of stuff in this game, which is going to be epic. And as I said, that is nice because if you do have Elex on the map, usually it's going to be covered in snow. The temperature goes down if you find large quantities of Elex, and this was actually confirmed by one of the developers of this game. So why am I talking about these factions? Well, number one thing, because in every Piranha Bytes game, factions were a huge part of this RPG, of every RPG that they've made, and I'm kinda glad that they're going back to the roots and saying, okay, you are working with one faction to progress through the story. You're going to work with a certain faction to get access to different guns and weapons and swords and crossbows you can use in combat. And the best thing is, every single one of these factions is going to have their signature weapons and armor, so it really depends from your playstyle. How do you want to play? How do you feel as a person? Do you want to join the Alps and basically conquer all of the other factions in the game? Do you want to be a berserker and believe in magic and mana? And are you going to join the outlaws and just don't care about anything that's happening in the world? You're going to stay neutral and just finish the main mission, the main quest in this game. So again, this game is going to offer a variety of weapons, from swords, crossbows, to guns and, grenade launchers and flamethrowers, and every single one of those factions is going to have their signature weapons and armor you can use in combat, and I am glad that Piranha Bytes is going back to their roots. Now again, I don't believe that it's going to be as strict as Gothic 1 and 2, where you had to join a faction to progress through the game. Maybe it's going to have something like a reputation system. But again, this reputation system kinda has a karma system as well, because if you're an Alb, of course you're going to be a bad person. But none of these factions is black or white. Nothing in this world is black and white. Even the berserkers that believe that the world is, getting its second chance and doesn't want to be as strict as the Alps, that doesn't mean they're the good guys. It only makes you think like, okay, what kind of a person I want to be in this game? And giving me that choice is amazing. Because I don't want factions to feel just like, okay, that's another generic faction I find in this game. Okay, they're the Alps, they're the outlaws, they're the berserkers. Kind of feels the same, but what I want is a faction that believes in a certain thing. If I join that faction, I want the other factions to fucking hate me. That's what I want. So I want every faction to have a soul in this game, to have its own belief and history, and that definitely extends the length of this game and adds more depth to an RPG. So guys, that's all I have for today when it comes to Elex and factions in this game. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you want me to make more content regarding this game, then tell me down below in the comments. And I'm sorry that this video is a bit dark right now, but the weather outside is cloudy, and then on one side it's sunny, and then it's changing every goddamn minute, and I didn't buy a light stand yet, so I'm an idiot. And don't forget to, as I said, smash that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of this content. And that's it, LastKnownMeal signing out, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Stay classy everyone, and bye bye.